What's up, YouTube skate fam? I'm out here at the fairgrounds in Loveland, Colorado, and today I'm going to teach you 3 different ways to tail stall. A tail stall with a nose grab, and a fun one called the Saran Wrap. In transition. Let's get into it. So something good to know is you have to have a good setup trick to give you the speed so that you can get into the stall. What I'm using today is a rock fakie back towards, riding fakie back towards the transition so that I can get into the tail stall. So I'm basically dropping in from here and then I'm coming around this way, getting the rock fakie, going back and getting into the tail stall. Okay, and what you'll actually see me do on some of these, if I'm coming in with too much speed or I don't lean in enough, is I just keep the foot on the tail and let the other foot either pull off or actually step onto the deck. And that could be a good way to get started with these, is come in with too much speed, put the tail down and then step off and then do the trick by dropping in. From there, focus more and more on the right amount of speed and not letting the front foot leave the board. And you do that by leaning into the ramp enough. Let me show you a few. With this trick, it's all about timing. As you're coming up towards the ramp fakie, you want to, at about this point, you want to, with your foot, start to press on the tail. As long as the tail makes contact with the coping and your momentum is going that way, which it will be because you're coming at the ramp fakie, it's okay to actually slide into it. As long as you're not going so fast and the ramp isn't too mellow to where the wheels are actually going to pop up on top of the deck. And even if that does happen, all that's going to happen is you'll end up being on the deck. It's not going to be a disaster. So what you do is, as you're riding up, at about this point, when you know you're clear, you're going to start to push back with the back foot. Now, at the same time, you want to get in the habit of leaning and staying in the ramp. You do that by bending the lead knee, straightening the back leg, and you're leaning in as if you're going to drop in, because essentially that is what you're doing. Once you get into the tail stall, you're going to be here, and as soon as the weight goes back down, you're going to be dropping in. So it's essentially a drop in that you're just getting into from the fakie position, and you're already on the board. It's not like you got to step on the board, put your front foot here and then go. You already come in to the trick in that position. So I showed you some from different angles and what a good setup trick is, which is rock to fakie. That sends you back at good speed going fakie. You can really pump up the transition and get into the stall. Let me show you some more at different angles. Keep those things in mind. As soon as you clear coping, it's okay to step. As long as you don't step before. If you step too early, you're gonna clip coping and then you're gonna slam that way onto the deck. But as long as you're at least here, and you have momentum, you can put weight, slide into the trick. Now they feel better if you kind of time it a little more precise, but you can slide into it. I slide into them sometimes. So you get into it, you bend the front knee, change the weight to where you're leaning in the ramp. You actually don't want to stand up on the deck unless you're going to do some type of trick like a Saran Wrap or something like that. Other than that, you really want to stay in the ramp, lean in, and drop back in quickly. Okay, and something else to keep in mind, which just came to me, and I mentioned this at the end of the how to front side ollie over a hip tutorial, is when you're coming backwards towards the ramp, you want all of your weight, all of your body, shoulders, everything to be going straight back. As you get into the stall and come back in, it's vice versa. Everything needs to go straight back in. If you enter in at a little angle, you could slide out. So as always in skateboarding, when you land, you should be in alignment with the deck, and that will help you right away from pretty much everything. Let me show you a few more from different angles. So now we're gonna see if we can actually add even more style to this, or just give you another trick by adding in a nose grab. This really helps you stay in the ramp because you have to be low enough for your lead hand to grab the nose of the board. Once you have that nose grabbed and you're locked in into the stall, all you do is stomp it down just like a drop in. Let me show you a few. So a good way to get comfortable with it first is to actually do nose grab drop in on your way to the rock to fakie. Because what it does is it lets your brain know exactly how low you have to be and where the nose is. So I'm in my normal drop in riding stance. I'm actually gonna have to be this low and really grab that nose. And what you'll notice is if you don't get in the ramp enough, you are gonna pop out like that. And it's actually a fun way to stop a line if you wanna end fakie. But if you're going for the tail stall re-entry, we're really going to have to put the pressure on the foot and keep the weight in the ramp. Let's try some more. So on that last one, you saw the wheels raised, but I was able to hold the stall and bring it back in. That is totally fine. It's a fine way to do this. As long as you're not going so far with so much momentum back that when the wheels lift, you slide back onto the transition, because then you're either just gonna stop the trick there or you'll go back in into disaster, which could also be stylish and fun as well, but that's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to get into the tail stall with a nose grab. And the best way to stop the momentum from carrying you onto the deck, if the rear wheels do lift off of the transition, is to really stomp the back foot and keep the weight in the ramp. Okay, so the last version of the tail stall that I'm going to show you is actually called a Saran Wrap. And it is the most difficult. It's kind of a bit of a dancing maneuver, not dancing, but it is a bit of a balancing jingle with the board at the top. And you can practice these by dropping in, or you can practice them on a small ledge first. But this tail stall is called the Saran Wrap. Let me show you how to get started with it from just a ledge. Okay, so you can start the Saran Wrap on a small ledge. I'm just using the flat of the ramp. Way less scary than trying to do it on a drop-in in transition. So nothing's different as far as how to get into all of these tail stalls. Tail stall, the nose grab tail stall, as well as the tail stall for the Saran Wrap. So everything's the same. You're gonna come at it, stomp the foot, and you are gonna grab the nose on this one. But instead of grabbing the nose and trying to stay in the transition, you're actually going to grab the nose. When you grab it, you're going to pull the nose up. Your lead leg is gonna go out in front, and you're gonna wrap it around the board, and you actually trade hands so that your leg could pass. So I've just come in fakie. I get into the stall. Let me demonstrate another one for you. I've just come in fakie. So I've come in fakie. I grab the nose. One more. Just come in fakie. Stomp the tail. I'm leaning in. I have my nose. We learned 3 different types of tail stalls today. The regular tail stall, coming in fakie, of course. We also learned the nose grab tail stall, and then finally the Saran Wrap. Saran Wrap is most challenging. It is fun. It's a fun little challenge. Honestly, I don't land all of them just because they can be a little complex. But if you don't land it, you end up just putting that lead foot on the deck, and then you continue on with the tricks similar to how I recommended doing on the regular nose grab tail stall. It's all fun. These are 3 ways to tail stall. I hope you enjoyed them. If you have any questions about this trick, if you have a trick tip request, drop it in the comments. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.